Hello and welcome to Decoding Helix episode 10, the big 1-0. We made it this far, so we may as well keep going, right? Well, without further ado, let's get stuck into the festivities. Wow, the big 1-0. I can't believe we made it this far, but I'm glad we did. I mean, recently I've been very tired. I've been run off my feet. I've had a lot of stuff happen. There's a lot of moving parts, and as exciting as it all is, right now, I'm just glad to be able to sit down in front of this microphone and be able to share some more information with you. Before we do get started, I wanted to tell you about Helix Media Management and how we can help your business grow using social media. So there's a couple of ways that we can do that. One is we can help educate your business in how to use social media so that you can get the best possible use out of it and really leverage it. And the other side of things is we can help run your social media for you and use all our bag of tricks to make social media really count for your business. Now, without further ado, let's just get stuck into the content. What I want to do today is basically take you through those steps that will help you set up your business's Facebook page properly. So if you are thinking of starting a business, if you already have, and if you already have, then some of these things you might not be aware of. So please make sure that you do dial in and really pay attention, because some of these things may be able to help you out and set you on the right course. So let's start at the beginning. So you're on Facebook and, you have your idea, you have your business name, you have everything kind of already set up in your mind, but you want to start reaching some people and you want to start putting the brand out there. Well, a very good way of doing that is by joining Facebook and having a business Facebook page. Now remember, there's about 15 million monthly users on Facebook in Australia, and that is steady. That hasn't changed over the last few months, and it hasn't declined or anything like that. So even with the whole Cambridge Analytica thing, I don't think we were impacted as much in Australia with that as people say in America. So what I wanted to pretty much touch on is a couple of things that you can do that are very simple that will set you up on Facebook properly and give you a couple of tips to keep in mind whenever you are, doing business-related stuff on Facebook, so that you don't get yourself in any sort of trouble and your Facebook page won't be shut down. So one of the number one things that I tell people is try and verify your business page. Okay, so you've gone through the steps of setting your business page up. You've filled in your about space. You have filled in your story. You've told people all those details that they need to know about you. And, now you're ready to sort of like start posting and start taking care of that. Now, the one thing that everyone seems to miss out on, or quite a few companies, what they seem to miss out on is the very simple fact that consistency absolutely matters. Okay? So if you can't dedicate some time to your Facebook page to look after it personally, have somebody else that you can trust that can do a pretty good job for you as far as posting is concerned. So, all right, let's talk about posts for a minute. When you post, initially you will want to post about your products or services, but don't sell. It's not a space to sell on. A lot of companies make that mistake where they just get on there and they just pretty much every post is a spam about how good this product is and where you can get it and how much it costs and the time it's going to save you and all that kind of stuff. But if you think back to why Facebook was actually created when it hit the mainstream, it was, and it still is, and this is what Facebook is working towards, is making it a place where people can connect. That's very important. It's a place where people can connect with each other. So if you are a company and you want to be successful on Facebook and you want to start gaining an audience on there, my number one recommendation is start thinking up of ways as to how you can actually bridge that gap between company and client and stop thinking about selling and start thinking about, how can I connect with my audience? So you're a business owner, you are very human. Why don't you take them through what it is to, give them a snippet of your day? Tell them what it's like around your office. Show them around, introduce them to a couple of your people, or, just get personal. Don't be afraid of Facebook Live. Video is very highly regarded by Facebook. So, yeah, just make sure that you're on there. If you're not on there constantly, and as I said, this goes back to, being consistent, then basically you're missing out, because the way that the algorithm, Facebook's algorithm works is you are vying for that top spot in each person's, in each follower's news feed. So if you're not posting on there every day, and you don't have to spam Facebook with a whole ton of posts every single day, you want to start off kind of, what you're comfortable with. So I would recommend about maybe once a day for 5 days as a minimum. If you can do that, if you can dedicate yourself to doing that, then you are going to definitely gain some sort of traction. You're going to start getting people to follow you. Now, by the way, in a normal post, whenever you post about, say you've done a Facebook Live or whatever, you can definitely ask people to, share this content if they found it valuable. Make sure that they hit the follow button, leave comments, ask them to let you know whether what they found was good or not, and just interact. Try and drive that interaction with people, because if you don't, you're going to find it's going to be pretty much tumbleweeds on your Facebook page, and you don't want that, and I don't want that for you. So, hence the reason why we're talking about this. Now, we'll go into Instagram a little bit later, because that's another big platform. And then I want to end off with talking a little bit about YouTube and how that could really work for your business. But for now, there's a few things, and they're only very fundamental, and you just have to change a few habits maybe as far as Facebook is concerned, that is really going to drive some better interaction between you and your followers. So, and it's all organic. You don't have to, the only thing that this is going to cost you is pretty much your time. It's not going to cost you anything out of your back pocket as far as money is concerned. So, you might want to also verify your page. So if you have a business page and you want to be recognized by Facebook as an actual business, all you got to do is just go into your settings, go into verification. Now, I believe the only way that you can actually have that verification setting pop up is if your Facebook page is connected to a website. So in that website field, where it says your website goes here, if you put your website's domain name there, then you should be able to have that option pop up where it asks you whether your page has been verified or not. If it hasn't, click on it, and there's a couple of ways that you can actually verify your page. One is with a phone number, and I believe that only works with a landline that's connected to your business, or a document that you can scan and send through to Facebook for them to be able to say, okay, yeah, this is a legitimate business. So the one thing that I always recommend, it's very simple because everyone should have this on hand. If you haven't, go and do this. Register your business with ASIC, and you can go onto that website and register your business name, and I'll leave that in the show notes as well. Register your business name, and they will send you a letter in the mail that will basically say, yep, your business's name is now registered with us. You can then take that letter, scan it, send it through to Facebook, and they will do the rest for you. And what that's going to do is basically give you a small tick next to your business name on your Facebook page. So that basically tells people that you are a legitimate business and that you are trustworthy because Facebook is now checked up on you and they found you worthy. So it's a small thing, but it does drive trust between you and the people that come to your page. So I believe it's very important. I think any step that you take where you can actually build that connection and that trust with the people that are following you is something that you absolutely need to look into. Some people don't think that it's as important. Some people don't really pay attention to that kind of detail, but I believe that you should. You want to start driving some sort of traffic to your Facebook page, then that's a very good way of doing it is by being genuine and by, appearing genuine as well. So one way to do that is, again, verify your page. Simple. Just go ahead and do that. It won't take you more than 10 minutes. If it does, then you're doing it wrong. I'm kidding. Okay, so the other thing that you really want to focus on is, again, I think we've touched on how you should sort of post and the kind of posts that you really should be putting up. But, a lot of people and a lot of people have a tendency to skip over all of those background details like the about section, the contact fields, all of that kind of stuff. You really don't want to skip over any of that. And again, if people want to reach you, they're not going to be able to if you don't put your contact details in. Okay? And, make yourself available. So if you are going to do something really cool and have a really, really awesome product that you want to get people to start interacting with and buying from you and all of that, well, then you want to give them a way to be able to get in contact with you. Otherwise, that whole relationship will go nowhere. So if people have questions, you want to be able to answer it for them and they want to be able to ask you. So give them an avenue to do that in. All right, I think I've droned on enough about Facebook. There are a bunch of other things that you can do with Facebook and, regarding the times you should be posting on Facebook, the number of posts per day or per week or whatever it is you want to do. But the number one thing that you always have to bear in mind is be genuine and don't give people content that's just good enough. Think about it like this. If you were on the other end and you were looking at your Facebook page, would you really care about what you're seeing? Because if the answer is no, then why would anybody else? All right, well, with that in mind, let's move on to Instagram. Instagram is another huge platform. You either love it or hate it, but it's here to stay. So some of the things that you might want to watch out for as far as Instagram is concerned is the quality of your photos, I believe, matter. Most of us will just go around with a phone, snap some photos, and upload them onto Instagram, and that's great. Well, when you're a business, you got to remember that you're trying to put a brand out there, and if that brand through the pictures that you share pretty much says, "Hey, we're mediocre," then that's pretty much what anybody is going to think of you. And this is just my opinion, so don't take this to the bank or anything else. But I honestly do believe that the quality of your images lends to people having like a subliminal understanding of how much quality your company is interested in as well, whether your service is quality, whether your products are quality, or anything along those lines. Now again, just as with Facebook, you don't want to keep selling. Okay, if you sell too much, then what are you doing? It's a place where people go to see something different, to look at other people's lives, pretty much. So with that in mind, if you want to get some traction there as well, then whenever you post a photo, don't always make it about your products. Don't always make it about your business. Introduce some of the people in your business. If they're comfortable with being in front of a camera and they're okay to have pictures taken of them, then by all means, put them in front of that camera, have them smile, and just, show the everyday goings on and shenanigans of what happens inside your company. because that goes a long way to creating trust. And if you can create trust, then you're going to be able to get more clients out of that than rather than not. So that's something to keep in mind. Now, again, when you do post, make sure that you have hashtags. There's a lot of companies that I've seen that don't bother with hashtags. They don't understand why people keep hashtagging. Well, those hashtags is how people actually find you on Instagram. So if someone types in a specific hashtag, and this is how people search for different and varying topics on Instagram, then chances are that if your photo has that hashtag attached to it, that you're going to be one of those pages that comes up as an option for them to look at. And if your photo is eye-catching enough, this goes back to quality, then they might click on that photo and they'll be like, oh wow, this is pretty cool. I'll like this, and then they want to find out more if they're really interested. And hopefully, your content is interesting enough to keep people engaged. So that is definitely something you want to keep in mind, is add those hashtags, and add more than 5 people. I mean, seriously, it shouldn't be that hard to think of hashtags, and it shouldn't be hard to, put them on your photos and attach those to your posts. There's also Instagram Live, which I definitely recommend. Again, video is king no matter where you are in the world or what platform you're on. If there's an option and a capability for video on that platform, I recommend you use it and take full advantage of it. So same thing with Instagram. Get on there. If you have a smartphone, and you know what, I've used my smartphone before to create videos. Flip that bad boy sideways. Okay, so most people have it facing them, like, square on. Turn it sideways. And the reason why you want to turn it sideways is because if anybody is viewing that content that you've just made on a smart TV from their lounge room, then they, basically turning your phone sideways is going to make that content widescreen now. So they won't have 2 big, giant, ugly looking black bars on either side of their picture. So that's something to always keep in mind. So yeah, I mean, look, they're only small tips and stuff like that, but they do go a long way. And look at if you really want to dive deep into this kind of thing and you've got the time, go and study how some of the more successful people on Instagram are getting their followers. Go and take a look at what they're doing that's so right that is pretty much driving crowds to their Instagram page. So if you've got the time and you really want to research this for yourself, and you don't want to pay money for anyone to come in and really tell you some of these things, then you can do this by yourself. It will take time and it will take a lot of energy, but you can do it. And you know what? It's your business, and I believe you should. So it's totally up to you how you want to tackle it. But at the end of the day, just get out there, get on social media, and put your brand out there. Start building it. Don't be afraid of people, having some ugly comments or leaving some ugly comments and stuff like that on in the comment section of your page, or whenever you put a post up that someone's going to say something that's kind of nasty and terrible. Remember, you can always block those people. Okay? It hasn't gone out of fashion. And some people are just trolls. You have to understand that. Some people just spend their lives dumping their misery on others, and the internet is just pretty much has opened the door wide to those kinds of people. So my recommendation is don't pay attention to them, block them. If they are a genuine dissatisfied customer of something that you have been a part of, and you've sold them a dud product or whatever, it might not even be your fault. Make sure that you respond to those comments, because Facebook looks favorably upon you being interactive with your followers and the people that come to your page. So don't be afraid to do that. It's actually going to work to your advantage. And as I said, you can always silence those trolls by pretty much quietly putting them off to the side so that nobody else has to look at their comments on your page. So don't let that drag you down. Now, as I said before, the one other thing that I wanted to touch on was YouTube. YouTube is a very cool platform. I absolutely love it. Again, it's not really going anywhere. In fact, if anything, it's actually still growing. It's in its, I believe, teen years now. But yeah, it's still growing. It's gaining traction. In fact, in Australia, you've got about 15 million monthly users, and that's steady, and that's pretty much on the same level as Facebook. So yeah, again, YouTube is one of those places where you can start putting out some content and start teaching people about your products. In fact, if you have a product, you can teach people and show them how to use it on YouTube. And you keep doing that and you keep putting out that quality kind of content, you're going to find that people will get attracted to it because people are interested in finding out information about what they're passionate about or what they want to, use in their everyday lives that makes their lives a little bit easier. So if you have a product-driven business, get on YouTube, set up your YouTube channel, and start posting regularly. That is the one thing that I keep telling everyone over and over again, and that is be consistent with whatever platform you choose or whatever platforms you choose. So, for instance, with YouTube, if you're going to post one video a week, make sure that you post another video the next week on the same day. People are going to get used to that. And once you start doing that, you're going to find that people are actually inclined to follow you because they're going to find your content interesting and it's something that they are, they're interested in knowing about. And so, it's going to be completely up to you how you do this. Now, there might be a couple of pieces of equipment that you might want to get along the way if you want to have a little bit more of a professional setup as far as your video quality is concerned. But, some of those things might include a good microphone to pick up the audio. Another thing would be, maybe some good lighting so that you're well lit and that, you look pretty cool on the video, or the product itself looks very well lit so people can make out what it is. And the other thing that I wanted to give you guys a tip on is with your videos, whether they're on Facebook or whether they're on YouTube or anywhere they might be, try and add subtitles to those videos. It's going to go a long way, and actually Google loves it when you put subtitles on your videos. You're going to get ranked up a little bit higher than people that don't have subtitles. And you got to remember, you're going to be able to reach people that you might not have otherwise reached with subtitles. So there's obviously the hearing impaired, clients that you might have, but then there's also, say mothers, for instance, late at night, they've just put their kids to bed, and the last thing they want is to pump up a video so they can hear what you're saying. Meanwhile, they just put their kids to bed in the next bedroom, and they don't want to wake them up. They don't want to create a fuss. So subtitles will definitely help customers like that you may not have otherwise reached. So, look, there's so many things you can do with that platform. You can, create those videos, put them on YouTube, and then you can also take those videos and put them on your blog if you have one. If you're no good at writing or if that's the case, then you can create a vlog with YouTube and you can just talk into a camera about your experiences and what you've learned and what you can sort of pass on to other people so that they don't make the same mistakes, or so, they can get some really cool results out of this, that, and the other. But yeah, look, honestly, there is a ton of cool stuff that you can do. And at the moment, it's fairly easy to reach people on social media. There is a little bit of know-how that goes into it. And look, I'm sure if you're a business owner and if you've started your own business, you're going to be crafty enough to figure out and do some research around that so that you can have success on your chosen platforms. But don't let anything stop you. And you know what? Get your brand out there. If you've got something really cool to offer, then this is one of the most inexpensive ways to do it. I know that things have changed with Facebook, and there's been a lot of people complaining about, oh my goodness, they're making so many changes, and when will it end, and this, that, and the other. But it's a free to use platform, people. I mean, if you're not on it, what exactly is it that you're doing? And you could complain about it, sure, but in the end, what is that going to do for you? Absolutely nothing. Meanwhile, you could be on there posting, getting on with the times, taking the new rules on board and just running with it, because it won't really matter at the end of the day. It's up to you to get your brand out there. And like I said before, unless you want to pay a ton of money to like Google AdWords, or you want to advertise in the newspaper, or you want to waste your money with a TV advertisement that nobody pretty much watches anymore, then get where everybody is, and that is social media. So everyone's got a phone, everyone's got a smartphone on them. If you ever take a train ride, you're going to see that most people have their faces buried in their smartphones. Anywhere that you go, even when people are out on dates, they're sitting across from their loved ones and they're still checking their phones. They're still checking their social media accounts. Whether that's right or wrong, I will leave that up to them. I'm not going to, start passing judgment on anybody for whatever they choose to do or not do. But at the end of the day, all I'm saying is get on social media. It is one of the best things you can do for your business. And honestly, it doesn't take a lot of effort. You just have to be consistent and schedule it even. Write it down somewhere in your diary. Today I have to make a video for YouTube, for my YouTube channel. Today I have to write a blog post. Today I have to, post a couple of things on social media. Just do it. It's not going to hurt you in the long run. In fact, it's actually going to work to your advantage. And if you don't do it, then the only thing that you're going to be hurting is your business. So by all means, especially if you're starting out, it's a very cost-effective way of getting the word out. Well, that's pretty much all I wanted to touch on today. Thank you very much again for joining us on this podcast. It is our 10th episode. 10th episode. That's pretty cool. Hopefully we're going to be bringing you some more really cool content. Let us know what you guys think in the comments. By all means, if you haven't subscribed already, please hit that subscribe button. You'll get the content as soon as it hits the internet. If you are a subscriber, thank you so much for sticking by us and for, being part of the journey. And, we hope to see you guys around. Tell your friends, tell your neighbors, tell everyone if you want, anyone that you think can benefit from listening to this kind of content. And, again, this is a podcast designed for, Australian entrepreneurs and Australian small business owners. And if you guys know anybody of that description, by all means, let them know, and hopefully we can all sort of help each other out as much as possible. So that's pretty much all I had for today's episode. I hope you enjoyed, and, if you've got any questions, any comments, anything like that, please leave them below, and we will go through all of them and hopefully answer what you guys might have as far as questions or anything like that. But until then, I'm Sabin, this has been Decoding Helix, and I hope to catch you on the next episode.